Hey guys, it's Evan. I know you guys can barely see me, but oh well. Balling on a budget, and it's way past my bedtime. It's 10:20, just about 10:18. I'm about to use my EpiPen for the first time, which I think is super important. I've never done anything like this in my life before. A lot of I do not recommend. Please do not do this at home. I'm doing this. I've done research. I feel confident. I have a test EpiPen, and I'm so fired. Okay. So not only do I have a test EpiPen, I have one test one. I put it back together so it doesn't look like I tested. But I have these, and I have enough confidence within myself, and I've done enough of my own research and educated myself to know and be informed that I can use this and be safe. And so please, I'm not a medical provider or anything, but this is what I'm doing for my own health. And I've informed myself that what I'm about to do is for my own benefit, for my own health. I have had a severe rash since 2022, and I can show you guys my very first scars over here, and it spread all over my body. And I've had extensive testing, blood testing, patch testing, skin patch testing. I've had the VA provide me with an un, like remarkable amount of topical solutions, medication since 2022, and nothing has worked until within the past month and a half or so since my skin patch testing. So for almost 4 or 5 years, and so me tapping myself with this EpiPen is way past overdue. I have done a lot of research. There's not much out there as far as like, oh, if you're having a severe allergic reaction, EpiPen and go to the hospital. I think that's like in extreme cases. I'm not saying that my case is not an extreme case. Like I said, this is way past overdue. I'm just saying I feel safe and comfortable right now being able to use this and just I'm at peace. I'm okay. I didn't get to finish my vlog earlier. I need sleep. I need rest. I really need to jump into my college and finish my courses. I really do have a thought I want to get off my chest before I go into this. I saw this new release on Netflix, like a new movie or something, whatever docu series. There's only 3 episodes, and it was about this woman named Micah Miller, I believe, and this psycho weirdo lunatic named J.P. Miller who ended up with some Susie Skinner psycho. Well, it really gave me a lot of courage. One, I just was not even 5 minutes in, I didn't even know what was about to transpire in the first episode, but I already just had this feeling that the husband had done something stupid, dumb, and I was just praying and telling God, God, thank you so much that my siblings have a noggin and do not allow people to take advantage of them in this way. Thank you, God, that you've saved me because there are people like this J.P. Miller guy that deserve to be in jail for the rest of their lives. And I won't spoil it. I think I already kind of sort of did, but it made me think about my situation in my case. And I was thinking to myself, like, I'm not dead. I'm alive. Sadly, Micah's dead, and Micah did everything to advocate. Like, you could tell Micah did everything to get help and didn't feel safe, and I've been there. And I remember going through all this stuff with Tesla, and I remember my in laws attacking me, invading my home. My spouse left me not feeling safe. Like, my in laws robbed me about 20 grand, took off with everything, emptied out my bank accounts, infiltrated my devices. The list goes on. And I remember just bits and pieces of things, but the homeless shelter was awful. And Robert Heckler at the shelter trying to cover his tracks every step of the way and control my narrative, my story. And I still don't have any justice for what has happened to me at all. I remember before I got to the homeless shelter, upon arriving to the homeless shelter, I had a taser that I bought from Bass Pro Shop because I was in so much fear for my life. And from the police would cyberstalk me, Katy Police Department would cyberstalk me. There were some Katy police officers that would creep on my Instagram. I think it was Instagram or TikTok, one of the two. And I think it was TikTok because TikTok shows you when somebody comes across your profile. And I was just like, who is this weirdo? And comes out, it was like Katy Police Department. So, anyways, VA has this grand idea since I was denied workers' comp to go to the shelter where, like, I felt the same way that Micah felt. I was sexually abused, I was sexually violated, I was surveilled. I mean, obviously, I'm not dumb enough, like, to believe this false narrative that, the cameras are decoys or whatever, and no one's watching like creeps. They were watching. So, I mean, imagine being naked and sick, weird, freako weirdos are watching you naked and watching you masturbate and watching you jerk off and watching you poop, vomit, whatever it was I was going through that day, and watching you suffer, watching you get chewed up by bed bugs and enjoy this shit, and watching men touch you and do freaky, weird crap to you, and listening into your private conversations, listening to conversations with government agencies, listening to conversations with OSHA. Excuse me. Worse, and I nearly lost my life, and I could relate so much to this Micah story. Maybe I didn't face it in the same way she did to the extent of her adversity, but like, you know, I'm not saying, I mean, she lost her life. I mean, I've lost my life too, but I'm still here. I survived. But just about everything she went to, the details of her case were just like I could really resonate. And after I watched the 3 episodes, I thought to myself, you know, Micah's no longer here. And I'm sure if Micah were here, she'd go after this man the way she already was over the internet, showing her face that she was not afraid of him, that she was leaving him at any cost, exposing him. And then I was thinking to myself, like, how the system is so flawed and how the system has only caught this psycho loser on cyber stalking and harassment. And I was like, I don't know, the system's just awful. So, like, it's like, I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't watched it, but oh well, watch it for yourself. So there was one part in the series on the last episode where they start discussing about the FBI and who's been reached out to and discussed or whatever. And I don't remember if it was the producer or what happened in the script. And they're like, "Have you talked to the FBI? And what did the FBI do?" And I was like, I said out loud, I said, probably nothing. And then here comes the FBI. They raid the guy's house with all, show business, whatever, these trucks, vans, confiscating things. The guy had a DeLorean that said out time or something like that, which I think may be like a Marty McFly thing. I'd have no idea. Back to the Future. But anyways, that's not the point. I was just like, I'm alive and I survived. And I can easily, like, I think that if there's one thing people at the shelter know about me is that I'm way more technologically inclined and advanced than so many people on the planet. And like I can easily, do what Michael was doing and make videos online and speak the truth. I mean, I'm doing it on YouTube right now, but you know, I just, as bold as that makes me to some extent, these people like this John Paul guy, whatever, this Miller, this weirdo JP guy, they flip the script and then they're gonna play the violin like, oh, I'm being harassed online, this person, so I was thinking to myself, like, the system is so messed up, like the system failed her, and at the end of the day they did all this FBI big ol' show, raided his house, and just to get him on cyber stalking crimes. Like, are you kidding me? This woman lost her entire life, and all he's that's not even a slap on the wrist for this guy. This guy had a DeLorean. It, like, had I don't have much recollection, but I had just looked at photos of me the other day with Sam, older Sam. We were at Tilo La Pond, and I showed him after he weirdly asked me to take photos of all my IDs. He asked me if I could show him, well, old photos, which I don't have. I had an awful childhood, and not an awful childhood like JP says in the documentary. He's just a psycho weird loser. I had I was brought up in poverty compared to most. I did have a good life because even though Houston is bedridden with poverty, I mean, Spring Branch compared to other parts of Houston at the time is not that bad. But what was I gonna say? He's a psycho weirdo loser. But you know, I was just like, what can I do? Like, if I sit here and I confront these people online, like, what makes me any different than what they've already done to me? I mean, I have to really sleep on it, I guess. And it's like, even earlier today in the morning, I was walking outside in the backyard to get documents for my dental appointment. And I was thinking to myself, like, as I was walking out to the backyard, I was like, wow, like, this whole jams arbitration crap, these people like came at me about being unresponsive, and yet now I have this stupid idiot narrative lie from the FBI, which is a crime because they're obstructing justice and lying as federal employees, lying, whatever, employees of the FBI lying, that they told me to stop calling them. And then I'm like, okay, so it's like both extremes. Like, I have the FBI saying, okay, so you were told to never call again. And then I have Jams saying I'm unresponsive. So it's like, which one is it? It's like, is it one extreme or the other? Am I entirely unresponsive? I don't talk at all, or is it I talk too much? It's like there's no medium. And I was thinking after watching this documentary, like, you know, that is abuse. Like, that is pure abuse. Here you have all of these well educated people, and set aside the education and the credentials, because most of these people in this documentary were just coming to you. Even the lawyer in this documentary was coming with full transparency, like, it does not take much here to uncover the truth. And they were just simply speaking as human beings, not God fearing, not pastors, not anything, like, screw all the credentials aside. Like, here you have this psycho lunatic alleged pastor whose dad was a pastor before him, and this alleged four-time best church in the country, in the state, Myrtle, whatever. And here you have this attorney and mental health care providers and all these people within the church and people who had a lot of credentials, and they just stripped all of that away, and we're like, it doesn't take much to see how bad things were here. And I was just like, wow. I made me really understand my situation. Like, here you have this full rollout of like the FBI ramming through this guy and police saying they're gonna leave no stone unturned, and yet this guy has just the gall to like donate her eyes, and it's just unreal. It's like I can't even say that this is smoke and mirrors. It's just all smoke. Because mirrors at least do some kind of job. Mirrors at least kind of give you some trajectory as to what is there. And this was just a bunch of the pastor, all this poofing up all this smoke, 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 trying to blow a house down spiritually, never blew a house down, only blew his wife out the picture. And, you know, these federal agencies and law enforcement blowing smoke up this guy's booty hole, and this guy's just walking out like with a slap on the wrist, like cyber, whatever it was, a cyber towards his wife, and that's just like he exposed nude pictures of her all over the internet. I mean, and I'm not talking about like me, I'm in my robe, like no, like she is full nude and in the privacy of her home. And granted, it's like I think that that's wrong to a degree, but I feel like as responsible adults, like obviously it's wrong, but like I mean, you have all these unreal celebrities that pose nude, and responsibly. And I know that sounds awful, but it's true. And for me, it's like even though this photo is of this woman nude, for me, I see more than a woman that's like I don't get me wrong, I could give this man the benefit of the doubt, and I don't know what this woman was going through. I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, I was losing my mind already 5 minutes into the first episode. So I just kept thanking God those first 5 minutes that one, I'm saved, and two, that my siblings are not dumb enough. And I'm not saying she was dumb, but I just said thank you, God, that my siblings, they don't put themselves in these situations with these type of men, because I would lose my mind if some idiot did what, like, even thought about doing what this man had done to this woman. It's just awful. And what I'm saying is, okay, so I only saw one of the photos, and I thank God that I only did, because if I would have seen the rest, I probably would just shut off the TV. But in one of the photos, I was like to myself, I don't know what's going on in this woman's mind, what led to her taking that photo of herself, but I feel like taking tasteful photos is one thing, but I feel like being forced to take photos, because if you don't show some form of obligatory validate your commitment to your husband, and this is how he wants you to cement to him in some form of tangible form that you are committed to him and only him in that moment in the name of God. That's sick. And I just pray for her soul and her spirit and her peace. And it's rotten what happened to this woman. It's awful. So I was thinking to myself, like, praying even after I shut off the TV for the night. I said, God, just please illuminate my mind so that I can find a way through this if I have to continue to go down this path of lawyers and find the right lawyer to go after these people that did what they did to me at the shelter. Because the reality is, like, I understand that these law enforcement or federal agencies, it says right here, NASA, Federal Reserve, other agencies on Live Now, Fox Live Now, the Kremlin says CIA director, like, this is real live, 9:37 p.m., 8:37 p.m. PT, and it is 10:39 p.m. CT. Like, here, all these law enforcement federal agencies, they are harped and played all day, 10:37 p.m. CT. Liberty and justice under the law, justice of Attorney General, you know, justice of the Attorney Office of the Justice of Attorney General. Like, my sentiment is exactly this. You know, me, I have gone through a trauma so severe and to the degree that I have never called the FBI and said, I made demands. I have never, ever, ever called them and said they need to legally represent me. I've never called the police and said that. I've never called FEMA. I've never told anybody I need you guys to legally represent me. You know, I feel like I did my best in the very, very beginning to get legal help, to get myself help. OSHA disregarded me. So many federal agencies, local, state, federal, disregarded me. But what I'm saying and why I'm saying this is because all of these excuses and the excuses that are being given are that law enforcement and these federal agencies, Department of Justice, their narrative is, and they even said this in the documentary, that they cannot legally represent her, Micah, and that they cannot legally represent anyone. And my thing is, like, I'm not asking for legal representation. I'm solely asking and reporting that, one, I was nearly killed in the workplace that led to my homelessness, where all of these things happened and I nearly lost my life to the point where I have titanium in my spine for the rest of my life that cannot be undone. I should not be alive. I should not have survived what I survived. There needs to be accountability. Whoever was behind the wheel that nearly ended my life, they need to be in jail for the rest of their life. Anyways, I pass my time all the way and I work a gym. So, yep, like I was saying, I don't, I understand that. Like, I understand the legality and formality, but my thing is like, help, help people, help. You help fulfill your mission while you originated. Help, help people, help with national security, help stop crime, help, you know, put weirdos like this JP guy, like, help put weirdos like Clifford Wayne Robertson, whatever, help put weirdos like Robert Heckler in jail and the janitor, help put them in jail for the rest of their lives. Like, these people are nuts, they're lunatics. And you know, April P, who committed all of these acts of violence towards me in the workplace. Like, if she did it to me, I'm almost positive she's doing it to other people, probably even right now. And I'm just like praying to God, God, please just illuminate my mind. Continue to place the right people in my life, the right lawyers in my life, the right people to expose everything I have gone through. Because Micah, she's gone. And even if she were still here today, I bet you anything this cycle would still be making her life a living hell. Just like these people are making my life a living hell by covering me up, by denying me care, by, you know, playing these stupid games on the phone. And, it's just dumb. Playing these stupid games with me in person, it's stupid and it's dumb. And, I don't know. Anyways, let's do this. What I've been practicing doing. So, the first thing you told me to do was to twist. So the first thing to do is quickly twist in direction of twist arrow to remove the yellow cap and to expose the orange tip. Pull off the blue safety release, and somebody said blue to the sky, orange in the thigh. So the twist, the trainer one, said to twist like this. So I twisted it. There's no smell or anything like that. And then pull this blue cap off. I've done this before. Hope it doesn't hurt. I don't know. It's a needle. So this looks way different than. Maybe I should put a light. That'd be smaller. Oof, that looks like a pretty intense needle. Ugh, this is definitely gonna hurt. Can already tell. I would imagine it's maybe a 22. And then it says Paris, Parsippany, New Jersey. Mm, I'm shaking it just, I guess, to shake it. I don't know. And then swing and push firmly the orange tip against the other thigh so it clicks for 3 seconds. Hold firmly in place for 3 seconds. I saw somebody, they said do it for 5. Okay, well, I won't say this hurt or not. Ugh, I don't know how to do this. I'm just kind of scared to be honest. Just do it fast and get it over with. I'm kind of scared. I don't know. I don't have to like wham it in, so I'm just gonna do it slowly. This thing literally says to swing. I guess you really do have to do